Okay.
And we're back. If this was an emergency broadcast, you'd have been told where to tune in.
Yeah, we got the little bars across the thing.
Yeah.
The words start popping across the screen.
Yeah.
We changed Wi-Fi's. Hopefully this will help people who, I know we got a couple of people saying that the video was having
I'm surprised that it's slow because I got a gigabit internet.
Well, and you have like a little hub guy that like is supposed to like make magic here.
Yeah.
Can't
This
find
thing only connects Wi-Fi. It
Yeah.
doesn't plug in.
No. We can try next time. We can try. There's supposedly a way to do it from my desktop, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet. So give me a week, and I'll figure out how to do it, and then we can do it next time.
Then we can plug in the wire.
Next week it'll be better because
Yeah.
I will figure out how to plug it into my computer, and then we can do everything from my computer next time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
next time, guys. It'll be
First
better.
question.
First question of the night comes from Colleen Wethington. I'm really sorry if I'm slaughtering names, guys. Wow. Okay. Not all second marriages need the sealing ordinance. Could there be an option to make the sealing of the second marriage unavailable when another sealing is on the record? For example, my grandmother married later in life after my grandfather passed away to another widower, and they were both sealed to their first spouses.
No, we don't provide a way for you to block those ceilings. So it really doesn't. It doesn't matter if those ceilings are done.
Okay.
Some may feel that it's good to do because we get them all.
Yeah.
No one's left behind, no one's lost or anything like that.
Okay.
Although the church, the church has the presidency, the brethren have stated that the effective, so as we've talked, you need to understand the terms. There's ordinances, and there's effective ordinances. And effective ordinances are just this set of ordinances that are that actually count. Okay, actually count.
Okay.
And because there's lots of people that have, been baptized a bunch of times, been endowed a bunch of times,
Sure.
sealed all over the place, sealed to they got the children mixed up because the child looked like the great-great-grandpa, so they sealed great-great-grandma to some kid that's, 100 years later, things like that.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah. But the brethren have said that the spouse that was chosen in life is the effective sealing.
Okay.
Now, as you know, sealings are interesting beasts. We can talk about that someday if there's more interest in that. And I'll tell you a story. When I was just joined the family history department, they have a devotional at the end of every year. Christmas time. And usually one of the members of the 12 come and talk to us because there's two members of the 12 that are over the family history department.
Okay.
And I remember one time Elder Scott came and talked to us.
Okay.
And he did we did a question and Q&A and things like that, a little bit of Q&A, but he gave us a little presentation and then he said, I'm going to take some Q&A, but before I do, I want to say something. And he said, I'm going to talk to the husbands. They always talk to the husbands.
It's because you're always in trouble.
You
can't get things right.
They don't ever say, I'm going to talk to the sisters. I'm going to talk to the wives. They're always talking to the husbands.
Dad,
because it's going to straighten us out.
Let's just get this out from the get-go. Have you never heard the phrase, like, happy wife, happy life?
Oh, I hear it all the time.
I mean, like, if the woman is always right.
Yeah, well, apparently so.
So
anyway, they said, I'm going to talk to the husbands.
Okay. And
they talked to the husbands, and he said, husbands, you can't, you need to treat your wife like a queen in this life. Because when when we go to the next life after we're died, and we're going to come to judgment, and God is going to look at you, and He's going to look at your spouse, and He's going to turn and He's going to ask the spouse, do you want him?
Ooh.
And she might change her answer based on how you treated her in life.
Ooh.
And I came home, told my wife, and she said, well, you better keep straight.
She's over here, by the way.
Yeah, she's also. Why are you peeking in and listening?
She's peeking
just
in
like
and
hearing
listening
the
to
story.
the story.
She just likes she likes the story. But I told her, I said, well, I hope they ask the guy too. But he didn't happen to say any of that stuff.
Well.
So anyway, No, that's not about sealing. Sealing is effective in reality when the Holy Spirit promise does that, and that's when it's time to get your kingdom.
Okay.
So anyway, so much about sealings. But it doesn't. We're not going to put a block on there because people feel like they need to make sure everything's covered, and it's okay to go ahead and do that second sealing, even if they were sealed in life to somebody else, and it doesn't hurt anything.
Okay.
So. Okay, and sealings only show up on the ordinance tab. It should be genealogically correct. So if they got married, then there should be 2 marriages and stuff like that, and it doesn't hurt anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Next one.
Okay. Kayana?
I think it's funny that she came in here to listen to that story.
Does that surprise you?
She just smiles and goes, "Told you." Okay.
You better treat me right.
That's right. And she was mad at me yesterday, so for a little bit.
You better step up your game.
Yeah.
How can you or we fix the problem of deceased members, showing up on FamilySearch when added into the tree as needing temple work? Only a handful show up correctly as needing IESSSP because they were members when living, but hadn't gone to the temple. However, most people having problems with their deceased family members who were temple patrons showing up as needing all of their temple work done.
Okay.
Sorry, I kind of ended abruptly, huh? I didn't really give you a good
Yeah,
cue.
well, you were
My bad.
You were kind of doing kind of a little weird, sign language deal or something. IBPBBMMMMR.
I'm just reading the question like she said.
IESSSP. Yeah. Okay. Well, remember that the system now does not allow you to reserve ordinances until all duplicates are resolved. All possible duplicates.
Okay.
So the way this happens is, if you recall, there's the public world,
Where the deceased records live.
and then there's living,
where my personal tree is.
Right.
Where no one else can see except for myself.
so let's say,
Do you need another color?
I don't know.
I don't know where you're
I don't know if we need colors.
Maybe
Okay,
not.
so here's the living area, and let's say that this is Grandpa, and he's alive, and he's a member of the church.
So he's done all of his ordinances then.
Well, yeah, but he's alive. This is my area of living.
Okay, your tree.
And so I have a copy. So here's me, spouse, parents, and then they go to my grandfather, right?
Right.
So when he dies, by the way, we didn't do this for about a year and a half for those who remember. Matter of fact, my boss was talking about, didn't we break things for a year and a half? So, well, when we moved living out of New FamilySearch into Family Tree, we broke killing members that died. So a member would die, and the clerk would mark them as dead, and they wouldn't show up as dead. But we've gone, that's okay, don't worry about it, we've gone back and killed them all. Okay, so they're all up here in public.
So if they didn't die once, they've now died.
Yeah, we got them good this time.
All right.
So, if let's say Grandpa dies,
Okay.
and the clerk goes in and marks the membership record as dead.
Okay.
When that happens, if Grandpa doesn't have an account, let's say he doesn't have an account, we'll go create a version of Grandpa in the public tree. And that version of Grandpa will have the ordinances sitting on it.
Because he was a member, and the
Because he was a member,
clerk would have had those on his record, right?
Yeah, the membership would have it on his record, and when the person goes and does temple work for the living, for themselves, we associate that with their membership record number.
Got it.
So when they're public, then we can show the ordinances to members. But this one here is a copy down here.
But since he's in your living tree, he's just going to be what you have on him.
Yeah,
correct?
but no ordinances show up here.
Okay.
So I kill my copy. So I finally come home and I mark Grandpa's dead. So Grandpa will come up here, P2, and it won't have any ordinances on it. We're having an argument right now whether we put the ordinance on there or not. I think right now we're settled. We're not going to do that right now.
Okay.
But we probably know that this was made as a copy of that membership record number. So we're going to try to get smart and encourage you to merge these two together. So this person, if somebody tries to reserve it, we'll say, hey, there's a duplicate right over here. You got to reserve it. You got to merge them together. Okay. And so you merge them together, and then this one goes away because the membership record one has to survive, and little P2 got put into here.
Got it.
And so then the ordinances are there. So if there's somebody in the public world that was a member and you know they have ordinances, they have baptism, confirmation stuff,
yeah,
and they're not showing, it means that there's a duplicate somewhere that you need to merge.
So find their other half.
Yeah, go in and do possible duplicates, things like that, to find the other one and merge them together.
Got it.
So like for instance, when my dad died,
yeah, a couple years ago, my sister-in-law marked her copy of my dad. She had put him in her area, yeah,
and she marked him as dead.
Yeah,
and he appeared up here,
right,
but without any ordinances. So I found his membership record one, and I just merged them together, and it works. I mean, she still has a relationship, to there. Well, so when I kill this person, this relationship now goes up here, right?
Got it.
And so I still see the person as part of my tree. It doesn't drop off of my tree because that relationship remains.
Got it.
And
so even if like a relative did it, it'd still show up. The tree still was connected on my end if they were.
That's right. If you mark this one dead, then that relationship right here still remains just up to the dead person. So that's what you have to do. Because if somebody just manually entered a person, we don't know that it's the same person as the one that was the membership record. So you just have to merge them together. That's part of the gig, and it's the problem is going to be less likely now that we require you to satisfy high possibility matches before you can take them to the temple. So the odds of somebody taking that person to the temple again when they didn't need it are pretty small. Yeah.
And to answer your question, Angela, so she says if membership/family search never gets told the person died, then family tree can't show them as dead. Correct.
That's right. So
no ordinances will show.
That's right. They have to be made dead.
Yes.
And so sometimes, we have had problems where people make people in the 1940 census dead when they're not really dead. So there's some of that problem going on.
Yeah.
Then you just need to report to support. Hey, this person's not dead. Or contact the person who created them. I did that. My wife's uncle, Orland, was 92 or something like that, and he was in the 1940 census, and somebody created him as dead in the tree. And I saw him, and I went, hey. So I messaged the person who created him and said, hey, he's my uncle-in-law, right? It's my wife's uncle, and we just visited with him just the other day. He's like 90-something, but he's still fine. So could you get rid of that person? And they deleted the person. So. Yeah.
And then Jennifer, if there's no duplicate, you can call FamilySearch. Yes. So yes, create a case with FamilySearch to find the missing ordinances if there's not a duplicate.
That's right. Yeah. If you give them the name and the birth date and information like that, they can look that up in the membership records and find the membership record. There's sometimes when membership clerks don't mark the person dead. That happens, believe it or not. And they'll go in and if you can show that they're dead, send an obituary link or something like that. Then
or a death certificate.
They'll go check it. They'll go check it, and if they're dead, they'll mark them dead for you.
And they'll help you find those ordinances.
Yeah.
So definitely will help you find those.
Yep.
Yep. So. All right. Next question. When I find information on FamilySearch and the other contributor doesn't have any contact info, can there be something done so that every person with an account has to add contact info and make it public?
Yeah, right now we can't force them to make it public. There are people who are very sensitive about sharing their email address, for instance, or phone number or address. Mm-hmm. But it's probably been about 6 months ago or so, 6 or 9 months ago, we added a new feature called Messages.
Okay.
And what happens is when you click, if there's a person, here's a contributor, and it'll have like name and phone and message. And it has like a paper airplane. Is that what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see a contributor, this is the mumbo jumbo here. So this is like birth and somebody, the contributor name. So I'll put Ron T. And you click the name, you get this thing. This is called a contact card. So the contact card shows the name, the phone number, the address, the email.
Whatever they want to make
whatever
public.
they chose to make public.
Okay.
The contact name is always public, and I think it shows up here too. But down at the bottom of this pop-up card is a button that says message, and it looks like an airplane there.
Yeah.
And if you click that, then we'll bring up another window on top of this one, and it'll have, you can have a title, you know, a subject, and text. Does that look pretty good? That look pretty horrible, right?
It looks pretty illegible.
Subject and text.
I can read it now.
It's too far away to read. Subject and text, and then you enter the subject. Hey, gooberhead, you know, well, no, you be nice.
Yeah, don't call names.
Hey, you might have made a slight mistake, an error in merging these people.
Yeah.
And then your text, and then it has a send, and you do a send, and since we know their email address because they have to provide it in order to register.
Right.
Then what we do is we send them a message that says, "Hey, you got messages over here in FamilySearch." Now, you need to find out where your messages are because they may be writing you.
And you're not checking
And you're not checking your messages, and I don't think we do a very good job right now. I think we should bring up a little thing that says, "Hey, you got messages." But if you look up here at the website, you know, it has the FamilySearch with the logo here. That's the artistic rendering.
Oh, that's the tree?
Yeah, that's the tree rendering. FamilySearch. And then over here has your name, you know, Ron, with a little arrow here for drop-down menu.
Okay.
Up at the top up here by help, there's a thing called messages.
Okay.
And that is so hard to read over there. That's so far away.
You should probably just like lay it down and write. When you do like your standing up, you're ready. It doesn't turn out as nice. Help. Does it give like a notification?
Yeah, it puts a little...
Like a bubble or something?
Yeah, a bubble with a 2 or something. So when you log in at the top of the screen, so this is where FamilySearch thing is, and it has family tree and memories. Right up there is the thing that says messages, and it'll have a little circle with a number in it, and that tells you how many messages you haven't read.
Okay.
Then when you click that, then it goes into a screen, and it'll show the person. It'll say the contact name of the person who wrote you, and some sentences. So you may have several emails. And you click on one of them, and on this side it'll show like a text message. It'll say, you know, this is what they said, and then this was your reply. And then this is what they said, and this is your reply.
Got it. So it's basically like an instant message.
Yeah, but it ain't so instant.
It's an email.
It's an email. It's an email that looks like an instant message.
Got it. Okay.
So this is how you communicate, and this has been fairly effective. You know, we can't make people reply. If they're not interested in participating, then we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But we found lots of people that this has been able to get people's attention. People have responded. They've got connected together. They can share you their email in this messaging system if they want, and then now you can communicate out of band, right, out of that FamilySearch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's how you do it.
Debbie would like to know, can you see what what a dismissed hint was? Like, so she got a hint and she dismissed it.
Oh, yeah.
Crap! Like, I had a fat finger incident. I lost my hint.
Okay, I gotta look.
Can I get it back?
I gotta look. Go to FamilySearch.org.
Hold on, guys. FamilySearch.
I can't remember what it looks like.
You're gonna have to log in.
I know.
I was gonna say I don't even know what my login is.
That doesn't sound very good.
I have full on warned all of these people that if they meet me at one of these events with you, to not ask me any genealogy questions, because I literally know nothing about any of this other than what you hear on here and me talking to him. You're so delicate.
It's because I don't want
Are you like afraid that the keys are too
yeah,
tight
the keys
or
don't
something?
work. I got a heavy hand. I might kill the key.
I'm not gonna kill a key. They're like embedded in there.
Okay, let's go to person. I gotta go to the screen because I can't remember what it looks like. I don't go to that screen very often. So let me go to a person here.
Aren't you like in charge of hints?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that I go and look at disconnected hints all the time.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
You might want to just know your job a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Dismissed hints.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so...
So what you do is... Okay, this is how you do it.
Oh, that's a cute picture of mother.
Yeah. So here's the person page. You know, there's a little portrait there. The name, it's got the name and stuff, and it's got name, birth, death, blah, 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 blah. And over here on this side is hints. And sometimes it's blank, right? Or sometimes it has hints.
Mm-hmm.
If you click right here, there's a show detail. It says show details.
Show details button.
Show details button at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
You click that button,
Yep.
and you get a new screen. And on the new screen, it shows, it says hints. It has the header, this stuff, the smiley, you know, the face and all that. Then it has hints.
And then if you do have
And the number hints. So this one has one.
So she has one hint. So if
Then
it has
it shows
active
it.
hints, right.
Then it has another menu item called dismissed hints. And you click that one, and then it won't show these, it'll show dismissed hint ones. See? And then in the dismissed hint stuff, you'll see all the ones, all of the hints that were dismissed to this person. And you can just click them, and then, like as if you clicked a new hint and do the hint.
Right. It'll
Right?
show up active.
Does that work? You remember, you got it figured out? Person page, show details on the hint box. Then over here it'll show hints or dismissed hints, and you look at dismissed hints, and they're right there, and you can click them and review them again and see if they match, and if they do, then attach them. Okay?
Don't worry, we have fat finger incidents all the time over here.
Yeah.
You know it happens. No worries.
Now it's locked in. I can do it. Next time I'll have the answer.
He's going to be pro next time, guys.
Yes,
He's going
sir.
to teach a class on how to get to dismiss hints.
And there you go.
Okay. Brian would like to know, why can't we edit memories contributed by other users? My mother is incorrectly tagged in a photo. The person who posted the photo doesn't respond to messages. Isn't Family Tree an open edit system?
Yeah, Family Tree is, but Memories wasn't. So
Okay.
when Memories was built, it was built by a different team
Okay.
outside of my team, and they when they initially built it, they felt very strongly that the owner of the picture, the person who uploaded the picture, knows more about that person than anybody else, right? And
That sounds a little incorrect.
yeah, and I suspect that the mother or whatever didn't tag herself wrong, put the box on her. It's probably somebody else put the box on her wrong.
Yeah, probably.
So so right now you can't change it, anybody else's tags.
Okay.
I will say that I have been working, the Memories team now is in my group.
Yep.
And we've been working on the concept of open edit for Memories. So let me know, send me a shout out on the page. Is that what you say? Shout out the word you say?
I can do a poll this week and we can ask about it.
Yeah,
If
so
how do you
feel about open edit memories? Now, this is the way, if I do open edit memories, this is the way I think they should be done. There's no editing of stories. In other words, a story is a personal thing about me. I wrote about my ancestor or my relative. So we don't want to allow you to edit someone's story.
Okay.
However, I think you should be able to edit titles and descriptions and dates and places. And I think you ought to be able to edit the tags. That's the little box around the person. So that's what I believe we should allow open edit. I'll be looking for your responses on if you agree that that's the way to go, and if open edit is a thing that we should do, and maybe if there's additional fields you think we ought to allow editing for the community. Of course, if we do open edit, we have to do all of the right stuff, like maybe watches, certainly a change log where you could restore things, stuff like that.
Yep. Okay,
Okay.
I'll put a poll up. Watch for it later this week if you have any interest in that.
Okay.
Okay. McNurthy wants to know, is it possible for FamilySearch to restrict requesting ordinances to those who show a relationship and view your relationship? I work in a temple and I see people printing thousands of cards for individuals that they are not related to.
Well, how do you know they're not related to them? I mean, there are some. I've got stories of people that we've had to discipline and things where they're clearly not Native American, but they're taking Native American names. So there's some of that. But you know, you got to remember that if you go back into the 1700s and then the ascendancy down, you could end up being way over and still be related to that person. Because related is up and down. Now, we did release a relationship calculator, which can go up to 15 high and 15 down. It does not show the biological path. It just shows the shortest path. But the answer to that is it's technically possible. I don't know if we would necessarily want to do that because there could be mistakes in there. It could prevent things from getting done that need to be done. But the brethren have asked us right now to use the honor code. So that means that they've explained the rules. They explained that you're supposed to be related to a person. And the last time we had this conversation several years ago, the response was we did the 110-year rule. So we had to get permission for that. And when we got permission for 110, we asked them, should we make them so they have to be related? And they said, we're not going to do that right now. We're going to allow the honor system. And if sometime in the future it becomes a serious problem, then we'll re-examine that. So we're not going to do it until we're told to do so.
All right. Okay, Knitting Bird would like to know, why can't we tag marriage sources to the marriage event, and will we ever be able to? I realize that we are supposed to put a marriage source in the marriage edit pop-up box. However, the way attaching a source is set up to source each of the individuals and the source makes it easy to skip that extra step of adding the source to the marriage event.
Well, I appreciate you adding that extra step. That's a manual step. The source linker group was not under me previously either, and they don't believe in the putting the sources on the relationship, which I think is a mistake. I think it should be on the relationship. That's where it belongs. Let me explain why we haven't spent the time to solve that marriage relationship and tagging to so you can attach it to a marriage relationship, but they want to tag it to a marriage, right?
To an event.
To tag it to an event.
Yeah. So
okay, so let me explain. There are two kinds of events. Let's just say there's vital event. There's vital event, name, date, birth, death, and then there's other information. And the other information you can add as many as you want. So let's say we do, what was this, marriage? And let's not do marriage. Let's do something else. Let's do nickname. And you can have Mike, Mikey, Joey, Bubba. So up here his name is John. Johnny boy. Okay. So this is kind of silly, but it kind of advertises the problem. Okay, when you tag to a vital, and the vital is name, birth, death, so forth. We hard code those places, right? So there's always a name. There's always a birth. There's that field does not come and go. There's always a name field, whether it's blank or not. There's always a birth field, whether it's blank or not.
Okay.
These fields down here in the other are empty. And so you add one, and you can add any number of them. So we say nickname. And you can add you add each one of these one at a time. Okay. So now I got a source, and I got a source that says I got one source that says Mike, one says Mikey, one says Bubba. So this is the struggle when we attach by event. Let's say we have source 1 here. And we say, oh, I want to attach it to Mikey. Okay? So now that source is attached to Mikey. And what happens if somebody else comes along and deletes Mikey? Well, guess what? The source attached is deleted too. It's gone.
Because it's an other.
Because it's not attached to any event that exists.
Got it.
So it's gone. So that's the struggle with attaching it to an event that can have multiple of them. So let's move that to a relationship. So in the relationship, you can have, like my uncle, they were married. So they married on date X1. They got divorced on date 2, and they got married again on date 3, and they actually got divorced again.
Same person?
Yes,
oh,
with
wow.
the same spouse. So this is my uncle and my aunt. They were married, they got divorced, they got married again, divorced again. And then she's not married, and he married somebody else.
Got it.
So now we have a source for marriage, source 1 for marriage. Well, I don't want to. This is called, if you can have the same. So I got 2 marriage events and I got 2 divorce events. These are called multi-valued events, meaning I can have multiple divorces, but vitals, notice they're not multi-valued. I have 1 birth, I can't have more than 1.
You can't be born twice.
That's right. I got 1 death, can't have more than 1. But married, I can be married more than once. I can be divorced more than once. So that's the same problem. I don't want that source attached tagged to that married. And then if somebody moves that marriage, I don't want that source to go away, or be whatever. So we just haven't dealt with it. My view is that if this goes away, we just remove the tag is one approach, which I think will work. Another approach is, let's think of back on the other. So let's go to other. So if I go back to other, and I say nickname, because I think it's important that all of the sources about a person be visible, whether there's actual data, actual names. So they put nickname 1 and nickname 2 and nickname 3, and I take the source that talks about a nickname and I link it to that field.
Oh, instead of the individual names.
Right.
Okay.
And as long as there's a source, any sources hooked to the nickname type, we show nickname, and here's all these sources that are attached to nickname. That way, when this one goes away, I still have the source that goes to nickname number 2 there on the person and tagged to nickname.
Got it.
That's why they don't think that source 1 is the real name. It's still a nickname, but it's hooked to the label. This is the label. This is the value.
So you want to start hooking.
So we haven't solved it.
Maybe?
This is where we're struggling. This is my struggle, and so I would appreciate your ideas. Certainly welcome to put them in there. We can just leave the source, but remove the tag. We can figure out a way to hook it to the label. We could also show it against the event and then just remove the tag. So let me know what you think on that.
That's kind of hard because it's not a vital thing. What if somebody never gets married?
See, if marriage was always there, marriage, divorce, whatever was always there,
right.
then we.
Yeah, but not everybody gets married. Not everybody gets divorced.
That's right.
And some people do it multiple times.
That's right. That's the problem. Okay, kind of a long-winded answer, but that's
All right.
why we haven't done it, is because we haven't settled on the best way to do that.
Makes sense. All right, David Farstead wants to know, are alternate names, such as also known as birth name, nickname, used by the automated record hints search engine, or should we do manual searches based on our ancestors' alternate names?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes. So what happens is all of the alternate names, that's nicknames, also known as birth names, any of those, are included in the search system and the match system.
For your hinting.
Right. So I'm going to check on the hinting. So send me a note on that one. I'm pretty sure, because I know it's in the search system, and I'm pretty sure they include that in the hinting system, but I want to verify. They're 2 separate systems.
Okay.
But I know they're in search. So if you had a nickname of Johnny Bubba, and you went to search and said Johnny Bubba, it would find it, even though the real name of the person is Jonathan.
Okay.
So all of those alternate names are put in the search system to be matched as part of when you
So they're
enter in
searchable,
search.
but
They're searchable. I'm 90% sure they're good, the same in hints, but I gotta check that.
So good question. We'll check on it and let you know.
Yeah.
Danielle Squires would like to know, what are some research resources if I'm completely stuck on a line? Do you suggest having a different software for my own personal records? And if so, which one? Those are two questions. She stuck two in there.
Give me the first one.
What are some research resources if I'm completely stuck on a line?
Well, some great resources are the Salt Lake City Library, or your family history consultants, or can help probably. What I would recommend, if you're a member of the church, then you get a free account on Ancestry and Find My Past and My Heritage and New England Genealogical Society. There's like 10 or so free accounts that you get. And although we have some sources are the same on FamilySearch as well as in those places, you can click and Ancestry, and it'll send you over there and you'll do search. So I recommend searching these other partner sites like Ancestry and Find My Past, My Heritage, New England Genealogical Society. That we're getting. There's a new one. I don't think it's up yet. That has some French things that we're working on, and so I would go there and search there in those places as well to try to find it. Another place you could go look for records is I would just go to Google and find out there are sites like do Irish records and German records and all those kind of records that are in Europe, and you can a lot of those will let you search, and then you have to pay to get the image or something like that. So those are several good resources. If you're stuck, did it say exactly where?
She just said, stuck. I'm just stuck.
Yeah. There's sometimes you're just stuck. So what I would do is don't get fixated. Go run off and work on other parts of your line, and then go back to that one periodically and try some new searches and try some different things. We put up there's about 1.5 million names that we add to FamilySearch every week. So, just periodically come back and try searching again. There was a whole bunch of new hints, for instance, this last week that showed up that have been records all along, but we just hadn't ingested them and done our algorithms properly. So just keep coming back to it. Keep working on going to other sites. Contact some family history resources. You can go to family history centers, family history libraries, things like that. BYU has some good ones if you're here in the state of Utah. And of course, the Family History Center in Salt Lake. Okay, and the second question?
Her second question was, do you suggest having a different software for her own personal records? And if so, which one would you recommend?
So I think it depends on, do you need a personal piece of software? So when she's talking about that, she's talking about what we refer to them as record managers.
Okay.
So these are software that you install on your local machine, on your personal machine.
Okay.
And it stores database files on your personal machine. It has your own personal copy. No one touches it because you're the only one that has access to your machine, unless you share it with the spouse or something. And I think that a couple things I need to make very clear. One is Family Tree doesn't lose any data, okay? And you can recover the data. I will admit that right now we're not great on allowing you to recover it as easy as it is for people to change it. And we've got a few ideas we're brewing right now to help that. So I don't think you should be afraid that something's going to be lost. But if something's changed, you have to be prepared to look through the change log. If that makes you uncomfortable or you haven't spent time to understand the change log, then there may be some comfort to you to have a copy of your tree, of your lines, on a local personal drive, because no one's going to mess with it.
Right.
And I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with people having a record manager for their own personal safety if they don't feel comfortable with Family Tree yet.
Sure.
And we're going to continue to work to try to make Family Tree be better and help prevent poor changes and so forth, and encourage good genealogy in some ways. But I understand that we're not there, and you might want to feel more comfortable. Now, as far as what do I recommend, what I recommend is you try them and then you pick the one that feels the best to you. The most popular ones are Roots Magic, Ancestor Quest, Legacy. I can't remember the one for the Mac. There's one for Mac. Actually, I think all of these work on the Mac, by the way, now too. All of them have a Mac version. You can go look at all of these by going to FamilySearch.org/apps, APPS, and they all have a free version. They all have a free version, and all the ones that I've tried, the free version will synchronize with Family Tree. It'll pull down all your, end generations up and down, and put them on your local database. And what I recommend is you go pick 2 or 3 of them, and you try one for a week or 2, and then you try a different one for a week or 2, and try another one, and until you find the one that fits the way you like to do. Because some of them are more like Path was in the past. If you had Path, some of them have more windows that pop up. Some of them are different displays, or are better at figuring out data problems like birth after death, things like that. So you just need to sort of play with them and figure out which one you like the best. And then you could either stay with a free copy, or they give you additional features if you buy it. They're all not too expensive. I don't actually know what the going price is nowadays, but I think they're all less than $60 or $70. I don't know. So I'm actually not supposed to recommend anyone in particular. But I recommend. You
didn't hear it from us.
No, I didn't recommend any. I just said go look at it in there and look at the ones that interest you and download copies and try them, and whichever one you like, do it. Now, I will say this: if you're going to use these record managers and they're going to synchronize with Family Tree, then I expect you to play well with Family Tree. Some people say, whatever I have on my personal machine is right and everybody else in the world is wrong. And that's just not right. Sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. There's lots of information being found all the time. There's information that other family members have that you don't. So I expect you to play right, which means when you're taking data from your local things and you're putting it up in Family Tree, you should get a screen that shows you this is what Family Tree says and this is what your local thing says, and I expect you to play nice. I expect you to have sources. I expect you to research to make sure that you're not overriding things that are good and have their own sources. I expect you to look at them and play as if you're part of the community playing in Family Tree, and not just they're wrong, push a button and blow everybody away. Okay? You still got to play nice.
We'll come hunt you down.
Okay.
Maybe we won't.
All right. I don't think any of these are ever going to last a half hour, so we might as well just figure an hour. Keep going.
We're horrible at time management.
Well, it's because I don't want to.
You just get too passionate.
I don't want to not answer people's questions. Okay, well, you got another one. Because I looked at your watch and saw we were like 8:15 or something.
Yeah, or 8:20.
Yeah.
Okay. Love the feature that allows. Oh, sorry. This is from Bosch, off of Twitter. Wants to know. I love the feature that allows us to attach a document that we have uploaded to a source, but there's a problem. Some documents have multiple pages. I have a marriage contract that has dozens and dozens of pages, for example. There are plans to solve that. And provide an easier way to link a multiple-page document
He's
in a
asking,
desired.
are there plans?
Yeah, are there plans?
Because you said there is plans. I thought maybe he knew something I didn't know.
I'm reading the question.
Okay.
So I'm guessing he's saying, are there plans to solve that and provide an easy way to link a multiple-page document in a desired order? I know it is possible to convert them into a single PDF or to a link to an album, but I think that is still too complicated.
The answer is we understand the problem. The original designs of Family Tree, way back 45 years ago, had the concept of multiple pages. You want it for anything. You even want it front and back of a picture. You want you want to hook those two together, right? The front and the back.
Grandma's handwriting on it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And maybe on the back of the picture it lists all the names of everybody. You want those two to go together. So, yes, we're aware of it, and yes, we are working on something. It's in the design stages. The team has been working on it for probably several months, 3, 4, 5 months, and because when we do this, it's going to be significant. We want to sure we got it right, and we're in the state now where we're going to probably move to the next phase where we start getting some engineering on it to start to decide how hard it is to do. But the concept is there and something we want to support.
So it's in motion. Gonna take some time.
Yeah, there's no promises when. It's not scheduled, but we understand it. We've got a design for it. We've been hammering the design for months. We think we're settled on where it should be. There's only a couple of issues we have to track down and figure out if we can solve a couple of problems, and then we'll go off and start building it. Matter of fact, I got a team working on pieces of it over the next 2 weeks just to verify
that you can actually do it.
That we think we can do it.
Okay, so it's coming sometime.
Yeah, but that is something we want to do.
So
good suggestion.
Thanks for being on top of it, Bosch. Luis wants to know, I'd like to blast through the indexing of digitized vital record images for my ancestral town in Italy. An indexing project that hasn't yet been offered by FamilySearch Indexing. When will that feature be available, and where can we contribute in this way?
What feature?
She wants
blast through the indexing of digitized vital records of my ancestral town in Italy. Mm-hmm. Are those images up there? I don't know if they're up there. I don't have any answers in Italy, so I haven't gone and looked.
I don't
know. We are looking at indexing. You know, there's a new indexing system shipped that's all online.
Yep.
Our next task is to start figuring out how to have more projects and get them going quicker.
Okay.
So we're a little slow on getting projects done. Projects are just simply a collection of images that we say, these all go together. These are all the Italian whatever records in that part of Italy, or these are the,
gotcha.
Whatever.
Like grouping them by their...
Yeah, like these are all censuses, 1940 census, this is the 1920 census, this is the Italy vital records from whatever, the Vatican or whatever it is. And we can only have so many of those.
Oh, she says yes, the images are online.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a couple things that we're looking at. One is we're trying to figure out how to make the process of hooking these images together and making a indexing project. We're trying to figure out how to do that quicker.
Okay.
And the second thing we're actually looking at doing is how to figure out, one of the things we think might be valuable, I'd like to hear your response, is we think that people may go to the images and start looking at some of them and decide they want to index part of it. So we call that indexing on the fly. We've been talking about it. It's something I've been wanting even the beginning of Family Tree, because I think it allows value. Well, we're actually having really good conversations right now about it in FamilySearch to figure out, is there a way we can do indexing on the fly, where you're looking at an image and you say, hey, I want to index this family, or I want to index the whole page. That's some of the problems we're struggling with. Do you get to do a family? Do you get to do the whole page? Do you whatever? And so we're talking about it. It's going to be a ways out there, but it is something that we're discussing. And I think it's going to be very valuable if we get it done, because you could be looking at anything, maybe even something image you uploaded in the memories. Wouldn't it be great if you could index that birth certificate or whatever that you uploaded, and then that stuff gets stored away so you can search maybe for it, or at least look for it through your memories. Wouldn't that be interesting if I could just go in my memories and
start
type something inside of the memories that's been indexed in my memories? So anyway, I think there's a lot of value in it. So let us know if you like that kind of idea. So we're having good conversations about it right now, but it's still just in
baby stages.
It's just in our head stages and talking and whiteboard, little bit of whiteboarding.
Post-it noting.
Yeah.
You guys should see. One of these days, I will go in and I will take pictures of their brainstorm room when they get going. Oh my goodness! And I'll post it in the group so you guys can see what their brain on a whiteboard looks like.
Yeah,
it is a disaster zone.
Well, we have to be careful. We can't leak anything.
Well, I can't get. Well, I could just not get close enough for details.
Yeah,
but you guys need to see how crazy these ideas are.
I think we got one more, right?
No, we got 4 or 5.
We're not going to finish these tonight. This is going to be the first time we're not going to get them all.
You want to go until 8:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll continue on the next time. If you've already submitted, you'll be the first one the next time.
Yep. Okay. Lisa, when merging a person that has completed temple ordinances with a person that does not, and the person without ordinances completing will be the surviving PID, is there a chance that the ordinances will be lost? Sometimes the ordinances don't appear to transfer, or it does take a few minutes for the completed or does it take a few minutes for the completed ordinances to show up?
Yeah. Okay, first off, nothing gets lost, okay?
It doesn't disappear.
Well, it may disappear for a minute, but What happens is when you merge two people, all of the ordinances carry into the survivor. Okay, always. They're always there. We don't lose them or anything like that. The problem we have is the system has grown large enough that when you do a merge, that's a fairly complicated action for the back-end database to handle. Realize what you've done. You've taken two people that have a bunch of relationships, that have a bunch of spouses and parents and children, and all this data, name, birth, death, sources, memories, ordinances. It has all discussions, notes. It has all of this, tons of data on one person. And now you take two of those people and you merge it together. And then you say, go. And you push a button and you want it back instantly. Well, that's tons of data that the database has to now go, okay, I got to copy all this data over to that one, arrange it right like you said when you did your submit, we call it tombstone the other one, archive the other one away so that it doesn't show up in search and it doesn't, you have to go look at it and it's a deleted person. And all that work has to get done. And when that, especially on Sundays or other days when the system's really busy, it takes a little bit for the system to get all of that finished. Yeah. So what will happen is you'll click go, and you'll see the person come back, all looks pretty good, but you go to the ordinance tab, and some of the ordinances aren't there. And I'm talking with my guy to see if there's some way we can put some kind of message up there. Basically what you need is just wait for a little bit. Sometimes it'll take 5, 10, 15 seconds or something. Or just move on and come back and refresh the page and boom, they're all there. Now, we'll point out there are some times when ordinances are there, but they don't show up. Let's say, for instance, that you have a ceiling. Let's do this one. We probably ought to draw this one.
Okay.
So if I have this person that has a ceiling to spouse 1, and this person has a ceiling to spouse 2, and when I merge into this one, I don't take spouse 2. Okay? Okay. So here's the board. So here's my survivor. It has a spouse 1, and that ceiling is done. Right. Then over here is the duplicate, and it has a ceiling also, but to a different spouse. When I merge this person into this person, if I don't take this spouse over here, then that ceiling will not show up on the survivor. It's there. It's under the tables. It's sitting there. But we've decided that if the person who they're sealed to is not listed as a spouse, for instance, if it's a sealing spouse, we won't show the sealing. So that's the only cases when it might disappear, is because you said this spouse is not supposed to be associated with this person. So when you didn't move the spouse over, then that means that ordinance won't show up on this person, even though it's sitting there.
It hasn't disappeared.
It's not gone. It's still on the survivor, but we just chose not to show it. We don't show it because that spouse is not there. Okay. If you turned around and added that spouse 2 here, and it's the same PID as that one, that ceiling would all of a sudden appear.
Got it.
Okay? So it does take a little bit of time, so don't panic. Just wait for, 15 seconds.
Go work on somebody else. Come back.
Or work for 15 seconds or something. Hit refresh a couple, 3 times, and then that'll be just fine. Okay. We want it to be faster, but you got to remember that we got a lot of things happening. It's a lot of data, and we've got 400,000 people are all pushing merge at the same time, and so all that thing's going nuts. And sometimes it gets just a little bit behind, needs a few more seconds. Okay.
So I thought instead of asking you more questions, we could do a follow-up on some of the things that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. Okay. So we asked this week in the group, we asked them about Ordinance Watch. Okay. If you remember, we kind of talked about it a little bit last week. Yep. The majority consensus did say that they would like a separate email for the Ordinance Watch. Okay. So they would like to have a different one for that. Okay. So that was the majority consensus. So thank you for giving us your feedback on that. How's it going with finding out about the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th biggest trees in
not very good. Did you remind me about that one?
Yes, I did.
That wasn't in the email.
I will remind him again. What about Roots Tech Family, Roots Tech t-shirts? How can they get
there's no, I contacted the marketing department. They said we don't sell those t-shirts, so.
We can't get them.
You have to be I guess you have to be a volunteer or something like that to get one of those things. They only hand them out to people in the booth.
really rude.
And they didn't even give them away or nothing. So if they gave them away, we could have got some, but they don't do that. So
we'll see if we can get some.
We're out of luck.
Family tree T-shirts, maybe. I'll reach out to my contact and maybe we'll do a giveaway if I can get.
If we can get a couple of them, we'll give away.
Okay. I will add that to my list. Hold on. Family tree T-shirts. Then the other thing you were checking on, who are they supposed to contact for recordings about roof sex presentations?
Yeah, I
Some
got
of
that.
them were a little upset this year that yours weren't recorded.
Yeah.
And they wanted to know who they should be talking to.
I got the answer to that one.
We have the answer for you today.
Okay. For questions or suggestions on recorded sessions, you can send an email to.
I'll
You'll post it. There's 2 people that you send an email to.
Okay.
So I'll give that to you. You want me to tell it to you right now?
Sure, I can write it in here. For requests.
Let's see. This is one. I wonder if I can see it here. Jen Allen, and her email is jennifer.allen@familysearch.org. And the other one is
Tara, probably?
Tara, but let me see if I can get her email. Tara Bergeson, and her email address is tara@familysearch.org.
Okay, so I just dropped that in the group for you guys. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can contact them and let them know.
Your feelings.
That you were disappointed that his weren't recorded, or if there were ones that you really loved.
I know they
didn't.
didn't do Robert Kerr either, and there's probably some others. So.
Some others that you didn't get to see that you maybe wanted to. And then the last thing that we were checking on was there was a Family Search help article that mentioned. Didn't mention whether it was okay or not for you to work on your spouse's one.
Yeah, I'm still working on that one.
So that one's in the works. He's working with the.
I have to contact. I was looking through them today actually, and I need to. That's actually done by support personnel, and I meet with them on Thursdays. So I meet with them on Monday and Thursday. So I didn't meet with them yesterday, but.
But on Thursday he'll meet with them.
Yeah,
so maybe
so
that's something that he can bring up with them on Thursday. So we're working on that one. So. So that's where we're at as following up on questions. I'll keep bugging him about the other trees, and we'll do some more polls for you guys.
But we're all done. Sorry we didn't get to all the questions, but this is to be expected as we get more and more people with asking questions. But don't be bothered. Next time we do it, we're going to start right where we left off.
Yep.
And you'll be the next question on the list to be answering. Okay?
If you're the top of the list, you're first to go. So.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
And as always, share it with your friends.
That's right.
Let's spread the word about Family Tree. So.
Let's make sure people can understand what's going on. All right.
How to use it. So.
All right. As always, let us know if we need to change something or keep going. So.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
We'll see you next week.